A very good afternoon to people. It's 16th of January 2018. Yesterday in the series on Android split screen combinations was part 1, today's part 2. So just a quick one slide recap. Here is my personal Android 7.0 Nugget phone. If I take all the screens and look at them with all the little apps on them, then there are about 70 odd. Do the math, it's 2,400 choices, ridiculous maths. Have a look at part 1. What is a good match? That is the part of this video lesson, but the thing is, quite honestly, I wish I had some great answers. I don't, so there might be a part 3. So there you go, I don't have the answers. If I was looking, getting down to it, if I was looking on the left screen here at my Android, on Wikipedia, looking at something that I was interested in, Acute Oak Decline, which is a horrid disease where you get these black line things like black blood seeping out of oak trees and the tree starts to die. Here are some pictures on the right hand side. You can see where I'm going with this, meaning splitting the screen, of one oak tree that I'm doing a case study photographically on. Then, of course, on the right hand side, what we've got is a split screen showing us exactly how the screen splits, and we've got the photos. The point of this is to really step back and say, look, if Android, or don't care what they were, they just come as like two screens in a square, would that be useful to you, or would you want to just maximize the article and read it? We need to step back and do some investigating on this. And then I thought, well, okay, how long does it take you to get the feeling of something? So the question that I googled, which is use the search engine, use Google. How many times do you need to do something before it becomes a habit? I'm not going to go any further than this slide, apart from to say, I can't, look at this. On average, with the research, it takes more than 2 months before a new behaviour becomes automatic, about 66 days. So you could do it from 18 days, 2 weeks, or goodness, that's nearly a best part of a year. The point of it is if you went back and you said, okay, and I wish I had a penny for every person I spoke to about this split screen thing and saying, do you use it? Oh, I didn't know it was there. No, I don't use it. They don't know these things. And even if they learnt it today in 5 minutes, if you're coming back to say, okay, how long before a behaviour gets exactly, like autonomous, second nature? It's a bit like CPR. I'm CPR trained. I haven't done it in years. If something happened now, I probably wouldn't be able to do it. Being honest, I should get a refresher. So let's take a couple of steps back and get on with this. I wanted to say, if split screen is where we are in 2018 or last year in 2017, how did we get there? And I found something quite intriguing when it comes down to this, and that is that when I googled a person studying books, it's no secret that you're going to get some pictures. But watch the theme on this very quickly. Look at the faces of these pictures, just to appeal, the first set that Google will send you. There are serious people doing serious study who quite honestly don't look that happy. Really, do they? They've got, their faces in books. This guy down here is, look, holding his head. Oh my goodness, it's so terrible. Then I thought, okay, let's follow a theme on that. So that was a person studying on a computer. She's smiling, but look at these things. They're in this big computer lab, and you've got these desktop machines with these TFT screens knocking around there, and it carries on like that. So this guy thinks he's finished his work, look, but you're in this big lab. Same girl smiling again. Then we go on and we say, okay, a person studying with a laptop, similar thing. You've got your laptop out. Oh look, he's got his headphones on, and the earbuds are in. Everybody is looking pretty serious. Hey, he's cheating, he's got a mobile. And it goes on like this. Then we go, and I've Googled something which is a person studying a tablet. And then all of a sudden, the smile is coming in. Again, this is purely random. People are not sitting at desks anymore. They're sitting in comfy chairs. They're relaxing. They've got their feet up. They are starting to smile. Everything has become smaller. Then when you go on to a person studying with a mobile, all of a sudden nearly every single picture here, someone is, lad there, starting to smile and they've got their things in their hand. Very, very different thing if you look at that. And what I'm trying to get to, as I said, is to step back to see actually where we are. Then you can go on and you say, okay, a person studying on Android, and this is where the trail for me went cold, because I got ridiculous pictures that weren't fitting. Another idea, if you don't know about what a second screen is it's all about this idea that the first screen is the television, and then people started to say tweet, or while the program's on they're looking at something else, or they are looking at, in this case this person has got a tablet out, maybe they're looking at this is common nature, I'm sure a lot of people know about that. I'm just trying to see where we are, and I can go through and say, what about this second screen experience? The one where you're watching the TV program or whatever, and the mobile comes up. Very, very common thing. You watch a TV program, you see a hashtag on that screen, and it appears on Twitter or wherever immediately, very, very quickly. Then I thought about, what is the second screen, what is the third screen? And then you've got these people who are sitting about the place, with a TV on, they've got a laptop open, and they've got a tablet or a phone near them. This person's got a phone. The third screen. You can see, I hope, where I'm going with my idea, and that is to say where we ended up with a split screen on a mobile, maybe. Then we're going along, and I thought, well, what is a comparison here? And then we've got, which is what I'm using, right now. I've got a laptop, and I've got an old school 4x3 monitor sitting on the right. This is not mine, this is just a Google picture, but I'm just trying to get this idea of what's easy. Why do I use it? Why do I sit there maybe and have a laptop with my mobile propped up next to it? Again, that's not mine, that's just a Google image. And then concluding with all of this is pretty much where I am. And this is why part 3, and I want to keep this, already been nearly 7 minutes in if you're still watching, and that is that looking at the experience, and this is just a slide that I've started to look at, and I've said, how long are you going to be there? Meaning, if you are going to hit or hold dual screen, then if you take an experience like, say, dialer and maps, which I spoke about yesterday, maybe to copy the phone number and phone them up, then I would say that's a very useful feature, but you're not going to do it for very long. So in terms of time, I'm now starting to think, well, look, what are you going to do on split screen that is less than, say, a minute? What are you going to do with 5 minutes? This one here, I'm watching a new song from called Parade by Sylvan Esso on YouTube, and then I've had a look to see what they're up to on Twitter, because they're on Jimmy Kimmel a couple of days ago. I've split it. If I was watching the video, or even if it was a concert of theirs, I'm a big fan, then I would be there for a good 10 minutes or more. So that's why I've said it's a pretty useful thing. And if I wanted to tweet them at the same time to say, hey, really like your new song Parade, then it would be useful. And I'm also, can you see where I'm moving with this? But I don't have the full answers. And I've got down on the bottom here, what is the answer to this question? And I don't know the answer, meaning what is the best combination? But I'm trying to report back as a series to see it unfolding as we are working. So I think we're pretty much done everything on that. So I would say I'm going to finish back off again and just say that if you looked at where we are so far, and that is, dig out your mobile, have a look at it, and say to yourself, and this is where I am now, and I've spent quite a few hours on this, far too many today, but what I mean is I'm hitting my head against a brick wall, because I don't think there's a good answer to it. And I'm looking at all of the different apps that I personally have got, and of course your mobile's going to look incredibly different than this. And then I've come along and I've said, what combinations? Remember yesterday I talked about the peas and carrots thing, and the Laurel and Hardy, and the Fred and Ginger, meaning it's a great combination. The thing that I would say out loud here to finish off is that there is a big deal, in my opinion, between looking at one thing and maybe writing to something else. Okay, this is both a reading and a looking, but if you're going back to something that I think I will, because I haven't made the point properly, and that is, if you look at somebody who is the one I want is, no, let's go back to the beginning. That is that when most people are working, they are working like, take this guy, that's a good example, in that he's not a very good picture. He's got a book, he's got a laptop, and he's got a pen in his hand. So what he's probably doing, and I know everybody has done this, and I'm trying to make the sense of it, is that when you are looking, here's a good example, if you are looking and reading and trying to understand through your brain, and you're writing something down, so I'm figuring out that maybe the looking and keeping or listening thing is also in a comparison to where you're going to start writing at the same time. Maybe that is a good use of split screen, but I must finish this, and I must also have a look at part 3. Let me know what you want. 10 minutes. Goodbye.